So we got our Week 13 Players of the Week. I always look forward to this topic, seeing if like any of my Vikings or Nate's Panthers made the list, or if any like surprises were on the list. And there's a couple surprises in my opinion on this list today. I'll start with the Offensive Players of the Week. So we'll go to NFC. So the NFC Offensive Player of the Week was Aaron Rodgers. He had 3 TDs, 195 yards. He had a 73.5 completion percentage, and he had a quarterback rating of 128.9. And as for the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, that went to another quarterback in Josh Allen. Josh Allen had 4 TDs, 375 yards. He had an 80% completion percentage, and he had a QBR of 139.1. So let's start with the offense, Nate. What do you think about these two picks for Player of the Week?
First of all, congratulations to them.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with the AFC, man. I'm not taking any credit for them. You and me was talking about this dude on the Raiders, the tight end Darren Waller. He had like 13 receptions, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You and me were talking about this dude too off camera.
Absolutely. When you hear about I understand wide receivers, but when you hear about a tight end doing this,
that's what I'm saying.
Like I don't think I'm gonna be real with you. When George Kittle like that one week had like 185 yards or whatever, I thought that was insane.
Hit
200 yards with 2 TDs is ridiculous. And if anybody deserves to be NFC, well, that's AFC, yeah.
Yeah, that's AFC.
Anybody deserves to be AFC Offensive Player of the Week, it's Darren Waller.
Yeah. You couldn't even make your case for Cole Beasley because he had himself a game too, which is Josh Allen's teammate. He had 9 receptions, 130 yards, and a touchdown, but I think Darren Waller just played better.
Absolutely. I think if there was anybody who deserved to be on that list, it's him. And I mean, if a 200-yard tight end can't make this list this week, then I don't know, man. As for the NFC, I think 2 teammates of Aaron Rodgers could have made this list. I think one is Aaron Jones, and I think the other one is Davante Adams. But when I look at it more, I look more towards Aaron Jones. And the reason why I say Aaron Jones is because Aaron Jones had himself a pretty good game. I'm going to go to the stats real quick and let you know what he did.
He had 15 rushes, 130 yards, and a touchdown, I think it was.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, 13 rushes. He had 13 rushes, 130 yards and a touchdown. So you were right. He averaged 8.7 yards a carry. And then as for Davante Adams, he had 10 receptions, 120 yards, 21 yards, and 2 TDs. And then if you want to add a third, Justin Jefferson could have definitely been on there too.
Yeah, he could have been on there.
He had 9 receptions, 120 yards, and a touchdown. So I mean, but honestly, I think if you were to give it to anybody, I think Aaron Jones could have definitely won that award. I think he played great. I think he was a key factor to the reason why they won, just like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is playing lights out. He's definitely a top 2 candidate for MVP, without a doubt. You could make an argument between him and Patrick Mahomes, but that's a different story for a different time when the nominations come in and we get to pick and we get to make our predictions. But honestly, Aaron Jones could have won that award. He really could have. And am I upset with Aaron Rodgers winning it? Not really. I try to find other guys. You mentioned Matt Stafford.
Matt a really good but he kind of threw an interception, so
can't really do that. Which everybody makes mistakes, but he threw that interception was probably, kind of seal the deal for him not winning it. But as for the offensive players, congratulations on winning Player of the Week. And let's move on to the defense, Nate. So I'll start with AFC Defensive Player of the Week. So AFC Defensive Player of the Week went to Kyle Van Noy of the Miami Dolphins. He had 8 tackles, 5 of those tackles were for loss. He had 3 sacks and a pass defended. And NFC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week went to Leonard Williams. He had 2.5 sacks. He had 3 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. I'm gonna be honest with you. The NFC Defensive Player of the Week, I completely disagree with.
Yeah, I agree. I think Cam Dantzler should have won that. He had 3 tackles. He had with an assist, and an interception, and a pass defended. He played lights out.
Yeah, he had 4 total tackles, and he's the first rookie this year to have a forced fumble and an interception in the same game.
Yeah.
So I mean. And plus, the guy that he was going up against, he didn't score. He didn't get a catch till the 4th quarter. He locked him down the whole game without a catch. So and that was DJ Chark, who's actually one of the best wide receivers for the Jaguars. And there are games where DJ Chark shows up and shows out. So I mean, Cam Dantzler could have definitely won it, man. As for the what were you gonna say?
As for the AFC, I mean, Clyde Farrell, he couldn't make a case for Clyde Farrell, but I don't think he was better than Kyle Van Noy, but you couldn't make a case for him.
I can't believe I missed this when I named my players of the week, my winners and losers, but I can't believe I missed Kyle Van Noy, but he had a really good game.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, 5 of his tackles were tackles for loss, which is ridiculous. 3 of them were sacks, which you don't hear about a lot of linebackers getting sacks unless they're like Khalil Mack lining up on the edge or like TJ Watt lining up off the edge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like So I mean, I gotta give them credit. You know, they Miami had a 8-point win, I believe, against the Bengals.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so I mean, I gotta give. Hey, so when you have 8 tackles in a game like that, where a game was a one possession game, it really does matter. It really does affect the game. And those 3 sacks were a big, probably a big difference maker in the whole game. So I mean, congrats to Kyle Van Noy and Leonard Williams. And we will move on to special teams, Nate.
Yeah.
So I'll start off. I will start off with NFC special teamers. Since I go in order, I went NFC first and AFC. Now I'll go back to NFC. So Dustin Hopkins was NFC special teamer of the week. He had 3 field goals. He made all 3 of his field goals, so he went 3 for 3. Each of them were 45 plus yards out. He went 2 for 2 on his extra points, and that is a total of 11 points for the kicker, Dustin Hopkins, on the Washington football team. As for the AFC special teamer of the week, that goes to Gunnar Olsewski. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's Olsewski. Gunnar Olsewski, the New England Patriots. He had 3 punt returns at all 3 averaged 48.3 yards. That was basically the average of the 3 combined. And he had 1 return for 70 yards for a touchdown. So I'll start with you, Nate. You agree with this?
I mean, yeah. First of all, I like that first name, Gunner, but that's a pretty cool name. But yeah, I mean, I agree with them. 70-yard return for touchdown is crazy. That's a good stat. 11 points for a kicker. That's another big thing to have. And they upset the Steelers in the process. And the Patriots, of course, they had that huge game, 45-0 win. It's really nothing. Can't really get any better than that. So I got no problem with that one.
Yeah, same as for Dustin Hopkins. I mean, when you go perfect like that, and especially in a close game like that, you got 11 out of those 23 points. So the other 22 points that they had came from I'm sorry, not the other 22. I'm sorry, the other 12 points that they have. Sorry, Matt, I had a brain fart with math there, but like the other 12 points that they had came from probably the offense, basically the offense. So I mean, I gotta give credit to Dustin Hopkins. He really showed up and showed out against an undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers team. His 11 points was a huge difference because remember that was a 6-point game, and I gotta give credit to him. This article was written by Grant Gordon, NFL.com digital content editor. But before we end this topic, Nate, out of the three categories, offense, defense, and special teams, I want you to name who you think was most impressive in each category.
Well, for offense, I think Josh Allen had the better game. I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns, almost 400 yards, 80% of his passes. Defense obviously goes to Kyle Van Noy. 8 tackles, and out of those tackles were 5 of them were tackles for loss. He had 3 sacks and a pass defended. I mean, that's just insane. And as for the special team, that one's a little tougher because both of them played good. Man, that one's tough. Excuse me. I had to say Gunner played better, man. I mean, it's tough to say. Both played really well. I mean, Dustin Hopkins, went perfect, but I think Gunner dude, I think he played a little better. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll say this. I agree with the offense and defense. For the special teams, I'm gonna have to go with Dustin Hopkins. And the reason why I say that is because it was such an impact. It was such a game where it was so much closer that all those 11 points mattered.
Yeah.
And Gunner had a great game. Don't get me wrong, but that was 48.3 yards average. Most of it was from that 70-yard return, which I'm not taking nothing away from him. I don't want anybody to think that. Like he had a very good game. He had a very good game on special teams. But I just think personally that Hopkins' efforts were a lot more significant in a game that was 6 points away than Gunnar Olszewski did. But I mean, congratulations to everybody. Everybody played good. A couple of disagreements we have on this list, but nobody on this list really played bad,
Yeah.
So I mean, congratulations to everybody who made the players of the week for week 13. I can't wait to see what happens for week 14.